What's good, everybody? I'm going to be talking about Sawk and Throw in this video, but before I get into that, I want to have a quick little disclaimer. If you are new here, you just happen to be clicking on this video, as you can see, there are tons of custom new moves and abilities in this hack. Probably you can even see those just from, these names and on this screen right now, but you can check out all of these changes for yourself in the description below. There is a link to the same Google Sheet that I screen share in all my videos, and it's super detailed, and it took me a lot of time, so, definitely give that a look, because, obviously I appreciate you watching the videos and definitely keep doing that, but you can definitely check out some of the stuff for yourself. Most importantly, there is a sheet here on the bottom that details all of the move buffs and changes. Every single move is buffed or changed in this hack, so definitely give those a look because they are very important in regards to how they affect the gameplay of the hack. And then there's a bunch of other important, Google Sheets. They are Google Sheets on the bottom. But yeah, with that being said, Sawk and Throw, I differentiated them quite a lot from the other pure fighting types in the hack, of which there are not that many. There are 6 outside of these guys, and these are actually the last pure fighting types in the decks. So the rest of them are all dual typed or some other type. Spoiler, I guess it's a minor spoiler, but that's super cool. Regardless, 8 is still a lot to balance amongst each other to make them not outclass one another. Sawk and Throw, they share one ability and expertise. Expertise is parental bond, okay, in terms of how it functions mechanically. And then Sawk has versatility, which is functionally Protean, and then Throw has stamina. So they share one ability and expertise because they are martial artists, of course, and then their other ability is specific to them. Sawk, Karate Master, versatility, kind of just fits any Pokemon, to be honest. So, he's a Karate Master, sure, he can do a bunch of cool different elemental attacks. Doesn't really matter that much, the logic of it, because tons of Pokemon have it. Not tons, but a good amount have versatility now. And then stamina is a lot better for Throw because he's a lot bulkier, and that's incredible. And it also fits him as he is, he's a judo, sumo wrestler type Pokemon. So that's the logic for their abilities, and obviously these are all incredible. Expertise turns their 125 or 115 base attack into 25% stronger, not to mention moves like, for example, Power Up Punch, especially on Sawk, will give you +2 attack, and that's a 75 base power move. 50, 20%, 25% of 50 is 12.5, so that's a 62.5 base power move with expertise. Of course, that also hits twice, so strong moves will bypass all kinds of anti-setup stuff in the hack, a lot of anti-setup things. For example, Taunt won't matter because expertise, Power Up Punch is not a setup move. Taunt won't matter when it comes to, Sturdy and Multiscale and all these other things will be bypassed with expertise. Super effective weakening berries, a Chopper Berry, any of these other berries are all bypassed with expertise. It's an incredibly powerful ability. So far, the only other Pokemon with expertise in this hack are Mega Kangaskhan, of course, and then Ambipom. So these guys are the first ones in a while that have the ability, and they're very, very, very good users of it. Sawk obviously is a lot faster. 100 base speed is not that great, though. It's good, but it's not that great. Not to mention fighting no longer resists bugs, so Sawk actually has some pretty respectable bulk now. 75, 90, 80 is definitely nothing to scoff at, but he'll still drop to like a strong first impression, like a stab, powerful base attack first impression for sure. He'll drop to 1 with investment and stuff. So priority is always going to keep these offensive guys in check. Not to mention, every Pokemon in this hack has a priority move besides TMs. Most of the physical guys get first impression and stuff, but in general, there are new priority moves for every element of every type. So every physical special of every type for the most part, with a couple exceptions. So that's always nice to keep in check crazy offensive threats, because on paper, a Pokemon with 125 attack, 100 speed, Protean and parental bond essentially, and an incredible coverage move pool. As you can see here, he has all kinds of coverage. Might seem a little bit broken, but you have to keep in mind that this is balanced for in-game use, and honestly, there are crazier Pokemon. He is nothing that crazy. He is very strong though. The speed tier definitely keeps him in check, because 100, while it is a good speed tier, is not that great. Although honestly, even just like Scarf Power Up Punch can totally cheese a couple of things. It's got all types of really good stuff. I personally would prefer Throw. I also prefer Throw design-wise, to be honest, but I think stamina is way more fun to use, and it's also, I don't know, I also just like bulkier things sometimes, but regardless, they're both excellent. Throw is even bulkier. I decrease HP a tiny bit because I do try to base HP a little bit more on size now. For example, even Hariyama, who is obviously huge. Hariyama's giant. He has like a 120-something HP. Throw has like 100, which is still very, very good. 100 base HP is incredible. And then his defenses are much higher. So 100, 115, 95 bulk is still overall bulkier than he used to be, not to mention he gained stamina. So expertise is for offense and for utility. Another great thing they can do with expertise is the move Skirmish, which tons of new moves exist like this in this hack where they drop the opponent's offensive stats by 1 and do deal damage, at the same time. Moves like Aurora Beam, Mystical Fire, and literally there's a dozen of them. Ominous Wind, Water Pulse, all kinds of moves do that same effect. Skirmish is one of those new moves. And with expertise, that will drop the opponent's attack stat twice. So attack and special attack are -2, and that is a 70 base power move, but boosted by 25% on the second hit. Not by 25%, but you understand what I mean. The second hit deals 25% damage with the original, so you're essentially getting a free 25% boost to all your moves, as well as hitting twice, which has the benefit of, like I said, having multiple effects. So not only do you, bypass stuff like Sturdy and Focus Sash, which is another common anti-setup thing in the hack, you bypass all that. You also deal your secondary effects twice. So moves like Skirmish are great with that. It's kind of like a pseudo Serene Grace in that regard. Serene Grace doubles the effect, while doing it twice does not mathematically double. There's a weird little formula you can use. It's not that difficult to figure it out. But I have a couple of them memorized. For example, Body Slam is a 30% paralysis rate. That's just the first move I saw that has a secondary effect. So with expertise, that would have a 51% chance paralysis rate. That was, I said chance and paralysis, but yeah, those are all great. Stamina is incredible. You could run Assault Vest Stamina plus Drain Punch. You could run Bulky Stamina with Timeout. Timeout is Fighting type recover. That actually is even better in that it heals you and your ally, which is pretty cool. It's a funny little name, by the way. Hopefully you get the joke there. Timeout, because like they're calling it timeout, so they're healing. It's kind of a little goofy name, but yeah, that heals you by half your HP. So that's super nice, especially for, I mean, it's good for Sawk too, but it's especially good for Throh. I didn't feel like Slack Off fit them because they are martial artists. Like, I don't see how they would slack off. Like for Conkelder, it makes sense because he's like a construction guy. But anyway, yeah, it's just super nice to have all of these moves. Bulk Up, Iron Defense, Swords Dance, and Meditate is great on Throw, especially Meditate gives you +1 attack and +1 special defense. So you can get your special defense up, and then you get your physical defense up when you get hit. You can Drain Punch your HP back. It's all super nice. Stockpile and Swallow is also nice. Stockpile, Swallow is buffed in that it is priority, and it heals you by 100% HP. So you can stockpile, then you can get a stamina boost, and then you can, Power Punch, whatever you want to do, and Drain Punch, and do all this fun stuff. You also have priority in the form of Mach Punch and Sucker Punch. Both of them have that, and they also have both have First Impression, which is nice. They also have lots of great utility, like Parting Shot, and like I said, Skirmish is great with expertise. They're just really powerful guys, and they're both very different from one another thanks to the speed and the ability difference. And I like that they do share expertise. I think it's kind of cool that they have like that kind of parallel between the two of them. As for the other pure fighting types, in comparison, Primeape is faster than Sawk and stronger in terms of raw damage output because of Hustle. However, of course, Hustle has a couple drawbacks, but it also has tons of new moves that don't miss. So yeah, and then Headstrong prevents recoil in Primeape, which is nice, and he has tons of really powerful covers moves. Not that Sawk doesn't, but yeah. Machamp is a lot bulkier than Sawk, and not as bulky as Throh is, but he is definitely he has like a 70-something base speed tier if I recall, and he has Defiant and No Guard, and tons of really good No Guard moves, and Defiant is obviously really nice to have as well, so that's, no overlap is there. Hitmonlee has hit Reckless and Unburden, that's no overlap there. He's also faster than Sawk, despite being, well, actually damage-wise, Reckless Hitmonlee is maybe a little bit stronger than Expertise Sawk in terms of raw damage output, but of course that's not everything in this hack. Hitmonchan, Proficiency, Rapid Fire. I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can get the idea, okay? Hitmontop is bulkier with Intimidate and Technician. Hariyama has raw stats. He is just incredibly bulky. He's comparable to Throh. He's bulkier than Throh overall because of the 120-something HP, although his special defense is worse and his defense is worse than Throh. Comparable in bulk, I would say maybe a little bit bulkier. However, while Throh has Stamina and Expertise, Hariyama has Resilient and Thick Fat, which are very good defensive abilities, but not nearly as good as Stamina is because of his raw stats. He has 150-something attack, if I remember, so he's very strong. But yeah, this is not supposed to be a video super in-depth about the other fighting types. I just want to clarify that I do put a lot of thought into what they all have, because there are, pure fighting is a pretty common thing. Even with all the type changes in the hack, there's still 8 of them, which is a good amount of Pokemon to have of one type. So definitely have to keep that in mind when balancing these guys out. I could talk about a few other things, like again, they have very powerful stab moves, all kinds of really fun things they can do. Other good stuff with expertise, lots of good moves have secondary effects in this hack. So, like flinching with Iron Head, Megaton Kick, dropping defense, paralysis, attack drops, all types of interesting additional effects that you can abuse with expertise, but I'm not going to get into every single one. You can check out what all these moves do in the description below and see how they function. Lastly, though, oh my god, excuse me, that's gross. I burped a little bit, but yeah, lastly, I'll just say for Throh, he also has access to signature Mat Block. Only Hariyama and Throh, and maybe Greninja, probably just Hariyama and Throh will have that. I know Greninja had it before, but yeah. I like it on the sumo guys, you know, because the name is a reference to sumo and judo and stuff. And Z map block. So map block is obviously protect, but it only works on the first turn, and it works on both your allies, which is good for doubles. But obviously, most of the battles in this hack are not doubles. Not that it would be bad in a double battle, because there are a good amount. For example, at level 50, you'll be around Aether Foundation. So, for example, the Faba double battle, you could use map block versus that. That'd be really cool. And the benefit of that is that it's essentially free protect on the first turn, and the Z effect will give you +1 to all of your stats. So that makes Throh really bulky. It gives Throh +1 speed, +1 defense, and +1 attack, and of course speed, which is not really that relevant. And special attack is obviously useless, but yeah, that's really nice with map block and stamina. You can rack up a lot of a stat boost, or stamina, map block and expertise with power up punch, either one. You can rack up a lot of stat boosts really quickly, and you know, just become super tanky and take a lot of hits nicely. Keep in mind though that boosting Pokemon in general, when it comes to defense, like speed boosting Pokemon are checked a lot by the priority, and then the bulk boosting Pokemon in the hack are not even checked, but flat out like countered by all of the crit moves that exist in the hack. The moves that will always crit, they will bypass, you know, bulky intimidate bullshit, which a lot of more Pokemon have intimidate now. So you know, that's a nice way to counteract that with all the crit moves that ignore intimidate drops, as well as the fact that for example, your defense boost in this case will be totally crit through with Ruthless. So a Ruthless, even a neutral Ruthless move will still chunk Throw, despite the fact that he'll have stamina boost up. So yeah, definitely makes those abilities a lot less overpowered. Keeps everything in check, you know. But that's about it. I probably ranted a little bit much. Hopefully you don't mind that though. And I appreciate you for the time. I know a lot of people don't like these guys. I am kind of indifferent. I think they're whatever. I kind of like them. I like Throw. Type-wise, no other dual type fits them. I remember one of my, like, the first rendition of Bear and Black, like, years and years ago, I had them as fighting ground and fighting ice, which was fucking stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. I was, like, I don't even know how old I was, 16 or 17 at the time. I'm 21 now, so, yeah, there's a fun little Throug's fun fact. But, yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna leave the video off there. Throw, Sawk, they're just really fucking strong and nice, good Pokemon. Very good at that. So yeah, hopefully, I mean, for like all 5 of you who like Throw and Sawk out there are happy with these buffs, and even if you're not, hopefully you can appreciate the thought and, you know, the fact that even if I don't like the Pokemon or whatever, they're still going to be made really good and given buffs and making them unique from other Pokemon. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for listening, and bye.